Well, hello everyone, this is Jurgita, Book Magic Pun Crafts, and I was asked to do a video about all of my 3 months to the finish line project or game that I had, sort of like overview. I know it's was supposed to be like a fully 3 months or as close as possible, and I did 11 weeks because the couple of last weeks of December I wanted to concentrate on other things, and plus the holidays, birthdays, quite few of them, and wanted to try to finish some other projects that were not in my list. So that's when I stopped after 11 weeks. But I did 11 weeks, and what you see in front of you is my list of original 6 projects that I wanted to work on. And the main theme for my 3 months to the finish line was either to try to finish some of those projects or to get as close as possible toward to the finish, because I had more whips than these. Plus I was participating in a couple challenges. One was cross stitch with Luda, where I had to in the beginning of the year declare which projects I can't even remember now, I haven't looked yet, but I think 9 to finish by the end of the year. There was also Farm Girls 10 and 20 finishes. And I'm happy to say that today is the 23rd of December, and I have all of them done and a little bit even more. So this is how my game was started. I had my six items here, main ones. Of course, I had to stitch on a few of the other ones. I had a dice that determined which number out of the 6s would be rolling, and I had these type of sheets where I had name listed, and then whichever falls out, that I was rolling the dice for, and I was writing once it's done. Smaller whips, for example, like was my ornament. I wanted to stitch another ornament, and also there was the bat. Because they were smaller, I wanted to do minimum 500 stitches, and the rest of them were at least 1,000. So sometimes, as you can see by my my list, that sometimes I went way overhead. Like, and this was the 2nd week, and I was going way over 1,000 here. But sometimes once you get into it, you just didn't want to stop. So I was trying to also go with the flow. Also, as my must stitch projects was also as a side George, and there are a few other ones that I'll talk about. So let's start then with the main ones, and I'll be trying to find the pictures of what it looked like before my project started, and then show you what it ended up with. So first one was this is sort of a knockoff of Dimensions Timeless Elegance Ornaments. It was long out of print, and I had a kit from Amish shop, and my goal this year was to stitch 2 of them and finish them. Well, not FFOing, but at least all the stitching done. So I needed 1 more to stitch, and I picked this one, so I'll try to put a picture of what it looked like before my project started. And this is where I ended up with. So as you can see, it's all stitching done. I was using those stretcher bar frames. It fit perfectly in this, as you can see by little holes. I haven't washed this one yet. That's why there's a couple markings in here. So I was trying to compare to original Dimensions by the pictures, so like where to sometimes put some things. And I've done it all. There was, as you can see, ribbons and the beads in there on the top. I used all from the kit, and stitching was like a back stitching done. There was a cording You can see kind of going in here, all around, sort of like a frame. And the only thing, I did something slightly different than what the pattern said in the Chinese kit, that I try to kind of mix up the colors between this and that, so it would be not as harsh change from one color to another. So I did a blend of two, and I think it turned out fairly well. So this is what it looks like. With the first one, I learned how to do the ribbons. It's not as easy because you know, this is, I believe, 18 count fabric. So to pull this thick ribbon, it would become very thin, and then you have to stretch it out. I used invisible thread, that Ely Wonder thread, and I stitched all, as you can see, there's nothing moving. I stitched all in all sides of those ribbons so it wouldn't move at all. So, like, see, it's not coming off, it's not rolling off. So I want to make sure it lays flat, and this is what I did. In the same way, I'm gonna show you back, so don't get scared. So you see how my those ribbons were attached, golden ones. I also used that invisible thread, and I really tried hard to tie it up in the back with this. So that was my actual finish, and I was very happy. So that was the first one. The next was my Mr. Baron von Bad, and as you can see, scraped off. That was my original picture, and I finished it too, but I'll show you picture what I started with. And this is what it looks like. I washed already the fabric. It was Picture This Plus fabric, and I think it was called Haunted, but it left some color out, but it still looks pretty good. So this is the top, and I had a couple of Mill Hill beads put in for the eyes. There was not only full stitching, but a little bit back stitching involved in the head, in the front only. Some things you practically can't see. I mean, eyes were, I think, also outlined. But this is what the front looks like, and I needed to finish the back, so I did all in one piece of fabric. And this is what the back looks like. I debated where to put my, you know, initials and year in, and I've decided in between the legs kind of thing. So so that's what it's looking like as a fully finished, although it looks like it's wearing some kind of pink earrings. Very funny looking. But this is what Mr. Bear Von Bat looks like as a full. And it will be made into a needle minder. There's still like a felt or wool fabric to put in the belly where the needle is gonna be, so stuffy, and the magnet, and it's gonna be closure. And of course there's gonna be little like a bow tie that is bat attached to the neck. So that's gonna be when I try to do fully FFOing. But this is what it's gonna be looking like, and I'm very happy to say that I finished it. So that's number 2. So those were my small ones that I had to finish this year, and I did. The next one was Christmas wreath, author's design. Serogina was her name. And in the beginning, when I didn't have electronic program, I have 2 pattern readers. One is Pattern Keeper that reads PDF files, and because I stitch a lot of like Russian designs, designers designs, and some of the kids, that somebody made it into Saga. It's called Cross Stitch Saga pattern that helps with with all the back stitching, because it can read back stitching. So once you do full crosses, you can click and it shows where the back stitching is, and you can again choose that color and work with that. So once I got that program, this little piece just started to fly off the with the needle. So that was very exciting. So I'll show you where I started with in this. And let's see, and I also finished it. Sometimes I just didn't want to stop with it, and let me show you the full scale of my wreath. It barely fits in the screen. There you go. So I tried to wash it. I haven't ironed it fully yet, but this is what it looks like. I also already put my initials and the year. This way I'll remember I've done it this year. It was not originally on my plans to finish it, but once I passed like a half point, I really just fell in love with it even more, and I did not want to stop. So to show a little bit up close, so you can see there was a lot of back stitching that you could barely tell that it's there. It's like a color on a color. You can, when you kind of put sideways, let's see if I can show you. So it's showing a little bit like where you have with two threads, it's a little bit easier, but with one thread, it's very hard to see sometimes with those back stitching, but on camera it shows okay, I guess. But there were a lot of different BS colors, and there were like, seemed like a very loose half stitches and stuff until you started connecting. But this is what it looks like right now, and that's where I started with the bird. I had the marking, the center was like somewhere here, and I counted down and I started with the bird. And I'm very happy to say that I would stitch something like this again. I know the back stitching I would not suggest leaving for the very end, because as you can see there's a lot. For example, again, color on color, and yeah, those branches really were killing me. So I would stitch area, and then I try to go with all the back stitching to do all of that. So this is my another like a surprise finish. And let's see, I started this in May of 2019, so it was Stitch Mania project, and I finished it this year without any any problems with it. So the next was on the list was Milady Chateau by Dimensions, and I'll show you the picture what it looked like when I started playing in this game. And let me pull her out for you. I still have it on my frame, but it's not finished. Let's see, Milady Chateau, I started, where did I write it down? I started with 43.6% and went all the way to 73 point, like almost 4%. So I'm stitching on what was given in the kit, 14 count ivory Ada, and that's pretty much the whole thing. There's a little bit on the top that is hidden, and again I've decided not to leave my back stitching for the end. So as you can see, I've done like area, and then I stitched all the back stitching. And if you ever done dimensions, then you know that it really becomes dimensional, because some of the items are stitched with sometimes 3 full stitches, some items are stitched with the half stitches, with 1 or 2, and it could be, some of the designs could be even up to like a 5 threads. And there involve some of the French knots, like you can see in here, And these flowers, French knots, they were like a long, I did the long stitches, straight stitches here for the grass. So there's a lot of different amounts of back stitching that is used. Like you can see here, some of the French knots in the people. Face is not fully done yet, as you can see, but I kind of went to the bottom and then decided to go to the right side edge and then started slowly filling up to the top. And I've done quite a bit, I think, on that, as much as was allowed to do in my play, my dice game. Sometimes it would, as you can see in the second week, it fell 3 times in a row, so that was exciting. Sometimes it would barely have one time on the whole week to stitch on it, but it made the progress, and I'm planning to finish this in 2021. So as you can see, there's pretty much most of the main stitching is done in the lower portion, and there's the banks in here, and that's where the castle is. Let me pull out a picture for you so you can kind of imagine what it will look like. So this is what the picture is gonna look like. So you can see that chateau, the castle, is gonna be here with some of more greenery in the trees and some shrubberies in here. So this is what is still waiting for me, and it's fun to stitch. I like the dimensions kits, if you know it. So that's gonna be my next year's finish. So let's set that aside. The next on the list, number 5, is the Panas kit. It's called My Dragon Pillow, and I know a lot of you love it also, and even bought this kit after watching my video, because it's really is relaxing to stitch. The colors are beautiful and bright. The only downside for this kit is thread length, for me at least, because you have to stitch with 4 threads, and you can't fold them in half, you know, to do the loop start, because it would be way too short. Seems like you just started stitching and it ends. So I always had to, you know, flip over and do closing stitch, and then again pulling the new one. So it's stitched on in a kit that comes with 11 count Ada. I'm gonna put a picture of what it looked like before my game. And this is what it looks like right now. I started with almost half of it done. It's 45.9%. And right now it's 93%. So maybe I'll be able to finish by the end of the year. The rest of it, it's less than 1,500 left. So as you can see, the top is already even folded, and here's a peekaboo eye, and all of this is stitched. Like I said, it's with the 4 threads, sorry, and it's just scattered because of all the scales, so it just moves all around in the shapes of the scales. But once you pick up the color, you can just go, and I just try to kind of clear out the one area before I went to another. And I don't know if those if that fabric is going to shrink more or not. I'm hoping, because this is the darkest part, this very dark navy color, and it's showing a little bit through. But pillow is going to be shaped in a dragon also. So you can see there is the bottom line right here for the dragon sitting, and just like this corner left, and that would be it. So very exciting. You can see compared to original picture. So there's going to be a little bit yellow colors for all those nail tips, and something holding in here. So that's what's going to be left. So maybe I'll be able to finish by the end of this year. And let's see, when did I start this? I had it written down. Let's see, what's it called again? Let me pause for a second. So this is also started the last year's Stitch Mania of 2019. So if I finish it, another spot is going to be opening up for 2021 Stitch Mania, but that's okay. That's no problem at all. So the last main project for this game of mine, it was number 6, and it's called the Summer Bowl. I had it from, it was reprinted in a magazine first in England, I believe, and then was reprinted in Russian magazine. That's where I got it, and the author is Santa Littlejohns. And I've started this in 2017, also Stitch Mania, and I'll show you what I started. And that was 79.46% that I had before I started using it for my game. And sometimes it would fall a lot, sometimes not. But let's see. It's a long piece. It's a full stitch project, full coverage, and I'm stitching it on 28, I believe, count. And this is what it looks like right now. So the whole scenery is here, all folded up and done. And also I'm doing, as you can see by those loose threads, I'm doing also back stitching as I go. Also a reminder that I'm doing the skin 1/1 full stitch, so it takes me a little bit longer to stitch on the skin parts than it would be with the regular stitches. So I also, when I stitch, I kind of adjust also how it where I put which color, because you could see more like a, you know, walking like on the steps if I would follow just exactly as it was for the full stitches, the regular ones, 2/2. Plus I'm doing black with 3 threads because it's a DMC 310, and as we know it's much thinner than regular DMC threads. And what else? I think that's it. There's just a little bit of the French knots in there on the ladies, a few ladies, but compared to like here picture, as you can see, I'm going towards the end of it. Right now I've done almost 5,000 stitches plus skin in those 11 weeks, but I'm like right here. So the last portion, about tiny bit less than a quarter is left, so I'm done like 75%. And when I do my whip parade, I'm gonna try to open it all up for you to see the whole thing. But this is where I am right now, so it's gonna be a lot of, again, green wall, and there's gonna be some blocks in the dresses, but the headpieces usually is more detailed with different colors, because they always wear something in there, like a plumes or just some ribbons. And this is what it looks like right now. So this is the bottom, so the whole piece also fits in my homemade Q-snaps. So this is what it looks like right now. So this guy's skin is still not done. That's why all the back stitching is not finished, because I want to do a couple people at a time. And as you can see, without back stitching, those color blocks look kind of funny, but once you put in back stitching, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. So that was my last one from my 6 main projects to stitch on. Besides that, like I said, I was doing George. My George piece is the piece of sky, and if you know, George Washington Crossing, Delaware, and it's just over 100 people, 112 of us stitching that big giant thing, and several floss tubers also doing that. And I finished about 9 pages in those 11 weeks. I can show you what it looks like right now. So here it is. It's just blob of sky. There's nothing like specific, so it's stitch an 18 count, and right now I'm in the 7th row. So it's getting there, it's getting there. I'm hoping to finish it in the next year, so this is going to be big challenge for me. In February 22nd is going to be 3 years since we started this project, and it's supposed to be originally 5-year project, but I don't think everybody will be finished with that. But I want to at least finish my portion, because that was my goal. So we'll see. So hopefully this will be done in just a little bit under 4 years. But this is what almost full length, what you can see, looks like. So one page is, for me, is about 24 with something hundred stitches, and by my calculations, every month, if I did just what I needed by division in 5 years, it was over 3,000, so maybe 3,500 stitches or so. But I'm trying to do, so like here I started at the very end of October until right now, which is let's say about 2 months, October and November. No, yeah, so the full November and almost full December, so about 2 months, and I passed my middle line, but I was also concentrating on other projects, so this didn't go that fast. And I'm stitching with Sullivan threads, and a lot of people asking what are these things. Those are bobbins, Kumihimo, and they're very good. They lay flat on one side, and they kind of, I'll show you, kind of pop like in here, so it kind of wound up all around it, and it's very easy then to keep all those threads from tangling up with each other. And we cannot stitch straight lines. Yeah. So this is good for parking, and I never try to do straight lines. I don't want to see page lines or even column lines ending. So as you can see in here, I do some of like scattering up, switching, so like in between spots that are left is going to be what the next part is going to be. So I'm going to go in, so kind of mix it in between pages. So this is page 65, I believe, ended. So that's what was with my George. I also had some other projects that I have to do monthly and finish it. So that was my like a stitch, sort of like a sal, but it's a first time stitching. A group of us, we had to sign up in before April with a Russian designer, and we were given thread list, and we can choose our own fabric, and it was ornaments, like it's called, the whole series called 1 Year of Dragon's Life, to translate loosely. And we had to stitch a whole thing, all the stitches and back stitching within that month, and then we would get the next month dragon. So so of course I had to finish October and November, and I just finished December. So I'll show you what it looks like right now. Here are all my 3 dragons. Of course, in December I did not finish it during my game, just recently finished it. But also we had a choice to have it, you know, outlined with this, with little nub that ornaments have, and there was also a tag with the month name, and I did not want that because I wasn't sure how I'm gonna FFO it, but I figured this one is a bit easier to do, and I can just do as the round one, and I don't need exactly a monthly name for this. But you can tell by the theme that it was October, and there's quite a bit of stitching involved in that. Let's see, what was that? Like almost 4,000 total stitches in each. So as you can see, we had to, first we had to do all the main stitching, Then we send a picture to designers to show that we've done all of that. Then she sent us a pattern for all the back stitching, and as you can see, there's some French knots involved. And I had this big piece of leftover fabric. It was 32 count antique white, and I've decided to just use this one, and I cut off the pieces once I've done both sides. So here you go, is October. This is November, and in November there's like this little dragon is nailing stars to the sky, a bunch of stars in a bucket. And that was the only piece that I actually had to do a little fudging, because I started the moon a few stitches off, so the whole thing was offset. I mean, the main character with the things was in its size, but here I had to kind of fudge it a little bit around. So I don't think you could tell. So, like, you know, French knots you can move, stars you can move around a little bit, and like I had to just go around the edges slightly, a little bit less in some colors. But this is November, and since I have the December, I decided to show you December too. So it's this little creature is just writing a letter because it's Christmas coming up. So that was fun. There's also some French knots in here. So that was a must for me to stitch, and I had to do that every month. So that's that, and there's 3 more left for the next year. So besides that, I had something else that was in my challenges to finish this year, and they're Prairie Schooler Santas. I had let's see, so each of them had almost 1,400 stitches. There's no back stitching, but I'll show you that I'm also finished with these guys. So it's taking me several days to stitch each of them. So usually these is between 18 to 21 hours, I believe, to stitch, and I'm just going all from the same booklet. I'm making three copies of these guys for all my 3 kids, because I want to do them as ornaments. And as you can see, I already initialed them also, which is I think more than I did for last year's. And I had this fabric dyed myself with coffee, tea, and baked. But after I washed it, a little bit of that washed off, but not a lot, because you can kind of still see the stain, sort of like a stains in here. And this is what my Santas look like for this year. And I kept trying to figure out, what is this? Is that something like a bear? Is that a puppy? Is that what sticking out? I couldn't figure out. So that was also a must to finish for this year, and I was happy to say that I finished this one. Then besides these, I also had several BABs, my giant projects, that I also wanted to put in some stitching in, and I'll show you. Let's see. One of them was this Heaven and Earth design. It's called What's This? I had it started before on a 28 count opalescent white fabric, and I did 2 over 1/2 stitch, and now this year I restarted also in Stitch Mania. So it's Stitch Mania 2020. I restarted on a 16 count Ada, and I'm doing the full stitches, of course, on a 16 count. And this is what is looking right now. So pretty much everything you see in the camera, that's what you get. So in during the game, I've done about 4,100 stitches. So I've started in the beginning of this from the middle part where the eye is, and kind of went to the side, and then I've decided to go up because that's where the top portion is, and I'm just gonna stitch all the sky there, and only then I'm gonna roll down and then continue with his mane, and a little bit more snow is gonna be here. But this is what it looks like right now, and you're gonna see much more of this next year. Let's see. Another piece that I've also put in some of the styles that we have to stitch to continue stitching is actually Lithuanian painters and composers piece that I got it as an individual pattern. So it's called like a King's Fairy Tales, or I call it like a Two Kings. So that's what the picture is gonna look like. And during the game I did about 6,700 stitches, and I'm stitching this on 18 count, and I'll show you. I did a little bit more in this month after the game ended, but this is what it looks like right now. And I'm hoping to finish by the end of the year. You can see the line where it's gonna end, the first row. So that's just like a top up to like here, like this area. So it's gonna be a lot of darkness as the trees in there. And I'm stitching with the DMC threads, and I love it, how it all turns out, this kind of mystical thing. This painter, he painted music. If you could say, there's musical piece that is for this, or this painting is for that music, and he saw in the painting what he saw in the music, so he was hearing his music and he painted it what he imagined to see. So it's very interesting to kind of see music exposed into paint. So this is what it looks like right now, and I'm gonna be also stitching a lot next year too. And there's one more piece of work that I started. It was a little surprise for me. I was not planning to, but I saw tiny corner of this sort, also like a sal, so it's like a little bit corner of that, and I thought maybe I'll try. It was called The Joy of Winter. It also was either Russian or Ukrainian designer, and we had to sign up, and I'll show you what I've got. We had to stitch first part, which was almost 3,000 stitches by middle of December, and I finished it. I had to send it in picture, and then I got the second part. But I can show you the picture what it looked like halfway done, and I'll show you actually what it looks like as a fully finished. We can choose our own fabric, and instead of stitching 1 over 1, I've decided to stitch over 2, 2 over 2, and this can be made in a picture. This can be made in a nice little pillow also, because you know it's maybe, I don't know, 12 inches or so in the width, and I just finished it, I believe, last night. So this is what the whole thing is done, and it also used I did not have a gold cryonic. I used the DMC gold thread. You can kind of see the sparkling and in here, but this is what it looks like. I'm usually not the one to go on mystery styles when I can't see what it's gonna look like, but this time I decided it looked very cute, kind of little corner here, so I just went with it. So I think these are all the projects. Yes, I believe all the projects that I worked during those 11 weeks. So what do you think, guys? You think you're gonna do next year with me this kind of game where just gonna work with all those whips and try to get them as close to the finish as possible, because next year I'm planning to like 44 new starts, plus some of those whips are gonna continue, and some of the new whips is gonna be also big projects, BAPs, full coverages, and again I'm gonna use them for my School of Magical Stitches. But you'll see more of my plans and my whip parade a bit later on, hopefully before the end of this year. So overall, I think I'm very happy, because I finished what I wanted to finish, plus a little bit extra. I don't know why, but those ornaments were at first very hard for me to figure out. So I'm hoping at least one of them to finish next year. And of course, Milady Chateau will be hopefully finished next year. This one I'm hoping to finish by the end of this month, and Summer Ball also next year. So that's that, and maybe even George next year. So out of those lists, I'll be done by then. And what do you think, guys? Write in the comments below what you thought of this game. 3 months to the finish line, and what of these projects you were rooting for the most, and what do you think I'm gonna include in next year. We'll see, I guess, next year. So I think that's it, and I hope that you like this video, and you're gonna click a like and subscribe and thumbs up, all that, and I'll be waiting for your comments. So until next time, this was Jurgita saying bye bye.